Welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm Red Grober. Thank you once again for joining me today on our program. Veteran comedian Bill Cosby battles yet another wave of accusations. Moroccan oud master Muhammad Ahadith plays in Jerusalem. And we host Tal y Tali, an Israeli jazz duo. Let's begin, though, with Bill Cosby, and Karen Kirsch, senior I-24 News editor, is here to tell us about what's going on in the life of this aging comedian, and not in a nice way either.
No, actually, this aging comedian, as you've said, is trying to make a comeback for quite some time, but he's also struggling for quite some time with accusations of sexual misconduct, rape, sexual harassment, a whole array of not friendly behavior.
Exactly. And this has been ongoing.
It's been ongoing for quite some time, actually, because many of the allegations have been made a long time ago, or cases that happened up to 30 years ago. What happened now is that, as we can see, there was he actually he tried to make himself a little bit cool.
Yeah,
and so he put on his own Twitter account meme generator, and he thought he was gonna get like cute sweatery comments. And he started getting not so cute. Sleazy comments, comments about, him being a sexual offender and stuff like that. And on that same note, there was another comedian who came out sort of laughing at him, trying to avoid the issue. And some women started coming up and telling stories. Women coming up with themselves in open faces saying, "You tried to rape me."
Where could this go? Do you think this could become could he go on trial?
The law in America is different, and you need to file a complaint, and complaint about sexual assault and rape they age, and they're not necessarily relevant. He was sued in civil court in the past, and the suit was settled outside of court with a lot of money that we don't know how much. And the fact that women are coming up now and they're saying we were quiet for 30 years because we had a lot to lose and now we don't anymore. But the thing is, the public is showing what they're thinking, and even though it may not go criminal, he's not making a comeback. He's not even going on David Letterman next week.
Right. All right. Unfortunately, some people end this way. Thank you, Karen. Moving on, the Ahadith Quartet is a musical collective led by Moroccan oud virtuoso Muhammad Ahadith. The group performed their first Israeli show last week at the Oud Festival in Jerusalem. Daniel Campos was there. He brought back this story.
What does Morocco, Italy, Germany, and Israel have in common? The Ahadith Quartet is the answer, a collective formed by musicians from very different backgrounds. Moroccan oud virtuoso Muhammad Ahadith is from the city of Tetuan. Italian percussionist Francesco Bongiorno is from Sicily. German bass player Stefan Reidel is from Freiburg, Germany. And pianist Avishai Darash is from Israel. The band was formed in Amsterdam, the city where they all met, a common ground for the musicians to combine Moroccan Andalusian sounds with influences of jazz, Latin music, and contemporary classical music. This year, the quartet performed and delighted audiences at the 15th International Oud Festival of Jerusalem with songs from their latest album, Spoken Soul. One of the exciting things of the performance is the chemistry between Avishai and Mohammed.
My father came from Iraq and my mother came from Tunisia. And they immigrated to Israel in the beginning 50s. For me, this kind of music, when I met Mohammed, it was it was like being home.
The alchemy of the lute and the double bass intertwined with percussion and piano is the trademark of this unique sounding quartet.
Avishai and I had a strong connection from the beginning. In the Maghreb, we always embraced the Jews.
might think, oh, it's a project with oud, so maybe it's just world music. No, it's a little bit more than that. We improvise, we bring like some jazz also, influences, and world music, Mediterranean, but still in a kind of strong concept.
At the end of the performance, it was clear the soul of the Ahadith Quartet has spoken to the audience.
In a moment, we'll hear the lovely jazzy tunes of Tal y Tali, but first, here's our cultural recommendation for the day.
20 years of collaboration between the Solomon Guggenheim Foundation and the striking Guggenheim Museum of Bilbao is worth celebrating. In honor of the occasion, the magnificent building designed by Frank Lloyd Wright welcomes a new exhibition with over 3 floors displaying some of the finest masterpieces of abstract art. One of the highlights is a Kandinsky retrospective with deep insight into his classic and contemporary works. Chagall, Modigliani, Warhol, and even Ai Weiwei, an exhibition with a chronological order designed as a lecture on art history, which will unfold before the visitor's eyes.
Tal Eventzur and Tali Rubinstein are 2 Israeli musicians that together formed Tal y Tali, a mostly instrumental duo playing jazz infused with some Israeli melodies. Their debut album was recently released, produced by Grammy Award-winning producer Javier Limon. I'm very happy to have Tal and Tali in the studio. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how did you two find each other?
Okay, we knew each other in Israel. We both studied in Rimon School of Music. Mm-hmm. We weren't really friends at the time, but then we arrived to Berklee College of Music in Boston, mm-hmm. and we started playing together for projects and stuff like that in classes.
Okay.
And we became friends.
And was the match obvious from the get-go? Was your styles, your...
I think so.
Yeah, actually we have a mutual friend that for a few years before we got to Berklee, she tried she told me that I really should be your friend because we're very similar. And when we got to Berklee,
thank God for Berklee. So let's talk about the album. First album for you. How does it feel to put it out there?
It feels like we have a little child now. It feels really good to have something that you made.
And what sort of reactions are you getting?
It's still it's pretty new, so my parents love it.
Right. Well, you had a show launching the album just a couple of days ago with Yoni Rechter, if I'm not mistaken, one of the greats of Israeli music. How was that?
It was a dream come true, I think, for both of us. It's pretty amazing to be able to feature one of the people who impacted our music the most throughout our whole lives. And actually, when we say that our album is combined with Israeli influences, we mean Yoni Rechter and maybe 1 or 2 more, but he is really like one of my favorite musicians.
We have a song in the album that he
composed
and we arranged. Not for us, but a song that we both of us like.
Let's say that it's for us.
And how did you get him to come and take part in the show?
I invited him to my Rimon graduation concert years ago, and then after that I think I played in some other event in Rimon and he was there. And he came to Boston, actually, to perform with his band. And since I knew him a little bit, he invited me to spontaneously to play on one song without rehearsal. We just did it, and it was really fun.
Apparently, it wasn't so bad.
I guess, yeah. It was the chemistry was really nice. And then I just asked him if he would mind contributing.
That's great. Now, he's not the only major musician you've worked with. The producer of the album, Javier Limon, we already mentioned him. What was that like? How did that come to be?
Both of us studied in his class in Berkeley. It was an ensemble, and we made. He invited us to record. Each time he invited us to record one song and another song, and then it became like a very big project, and we found ourselves just recording an album and writing arrangements, and it was a really, really fun experience. And
you did another project with him,
yeah.
right? Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah.
So yeah, all the arranging and all that was actually for his album, also for ours, but also we were very involved in his album that is called Promesas de Tierra, yeah. With my bad Spanish accent.
Still better than mine. Which means
the promised land, or promises of the land.
Okay.
And it was a really, really amazing project. Only in the middle we even realized that it's going to be an album, because it was kind of on the side of our studies. And it was just an amazing experience. We never before got to arrange and to play with such a big and important project. And not only the music is really amazing, but we did it with some of our best friends from class.
And you did a very diverse group, if I'm not mistaken. People from all over, also from the region, from our region.
Yeah,
right.
I have one friend who is a cello player from Bethlehem, and another violin player from Jordan, and a saxophone player from Madrid, and people from all over, but very close to us.
And a kanun player.
And a kanun
from
player
Ramallah.
from Ramallah.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, music is a universal language. Did that statement prove itself in your work, or was there some issues that raised their head?
Actually, there was one day that we recorded that there was a bombing in Boston.
Right, the marathon.
We were in the studio, and it was actually the Independence Day in Israel. And it was, we didn't talk about it, that it's the Independence Day, and we didn't want to talk about anything that is sensitive. But it was the last day of the recording, and they brought a lot of alcohol to the studio, and we played, and we drink a lot, and it was really, really...
So really I think fun. We found the solution for all the problems alcohol, in the region, just a lot of alcohol and good music. Now, in Israel, you're also working with the Andalus Orchestra of Ashkelon, touring with them. How's that?
It's amazing. We got to know Tom Cohen, who is the musical director. Amazing person, just such a pleasure to work with. We just met like randomly and sat down for like a coffee or something like that. It was so much fun just to talk that he just like asked us if maybe we could do something together, and we found a way that it could work. And we're doing it's called Voices of the Opera. That's the series of the concerts, and we're doing arrangements for classical music pieces like Grieg, Khachaturian, and we're converting them to Arabic music, kind of. We're doing kind of a creative engaging of both worlds.
Interesting.
And it's very interesting. Sometimes it's even funny, and sometimes I think at some points it really works as if it's like meant to be.
Yeah.
So
well, your sound is quite unique. What are you going to play for us today? Because we're going to have the pleasure of hearing you guys as well.
We're going to play a song called Boy Ima, which is originally a Russian song, and there is a new melody that Yoni Rechter composed. And we are kind of playing with both of the melodies.
All right, sounds great. So thank you, Tal and Tali.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for joining us as well. We're done for today, almost out of time. So we're going to end today with Boy Ima by Tal y Tali. Enjoy.
ותשבי איתי מעט. בעצים מכה הרוח וידייך כה חמות, אל תלכי ספרי לי אמא, איך באים החלומות